Here's the big question. How is it that most entrepreneurs hustle and are always busy and struggle to take just one step forward only to fall two steps back? They're dedicated, determined, and driven, but only a few finally break through and win. This show uncovers those quantum leap patterns of highly successful people so you can simply model what they do and apply to your future success. That's the question, and the answers are right here. My name is Brigitte Höfele, and this is the Success Patterns Show. And that is right. Welcome, everyone, to the Success Patterns Show. My name is Brigitte Höfele. I am the founder of the Success Patterns Show and of the Success Patterns Movement, and also the CEO of the Center of NLP. And I couldn't be more excited to be here with you today because you are in for a treat. But before I announce and bring up my guest expert today, I want to tell you a little bit about what are success patterns. So we're decoding success however you define success. Some people say, hey, I've been successful because I actually got out of bed today. That's a success, and I celebrate you. Some people say, I got X amount of dollars in my bank account. That's a success for me. Awesome. I celebrate that too. Some people might say, I raised the coolest kids. By the way, that would be me and my guest expert, actually. And I would say that's a great success. So however you define success, success can be decoded so you can encode it with the patterns of that success so you can continue to learn. Because if one person can do it, you can do it too. And success is learned best hands-on from a living teacher, from a guest expert, and you are right here. You're at the right place at the right time as we're filling your knowledge bank account with those great deposits of these success patterns so you can model them. As one of the laws of NLP and the laws of success teaches is that it is modeled, and that's exactly what we're here and what we're about as we were giving you these success patterns and the incredible insight of highly successful people. And success might not mean money, okay? So be very mindful of what success might mean to you as we're ritualizing those steps to success. So success is already yours, whatever you make it mean. So stay tuned. At the end of the show, we have a very special gift for you. That's a guideline and a reminder of the laws of success. So today's a great show. I have an incredible person here that I know very personally as well. He intends to add value to this show with just sharing his successes and his losses also of his life, his values, the lessons that he's learned along the way from his mistakes that led him to his successes, share the transformation that can happen inside of us, and about the importance of the energy and the beliefs within us. So he is a no-limit energy thinker, constantly researching for ways to improve himself and his life and his family, to enhance or change other people's lives, even when they are in a normal, and I'm going to put that in air quotation marks, working environments. He says life deserves to be lived in full, experiencing the power of love and experiencing it from our souls. When we're touched in the right way, we become unstoppable. On top of that, he's not just an incredible human being. He is also the VP VP supply chain for Oakley in California for, I'm going to say, the largest eyewear company. And his name is Luca Di Camillo. And I have him right here. And we hear the applause and the thunder and the people.
Standing ovation. Hi, Brigitte.
Well, it's so good to have you here. How are you, my friend?
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Oh, Luca, and I want to give you a little bit of a backstory, and then I'll let Luca talk. Luca's family has traveled, I'm going to say literally throughout the world for his job. And I'm actually, Luca, why don't you tell the story? You know it much better than I do.
Yeah. So good afternoon, good morning, good everything, everywhere in the world where you guys are. Yeah, so we traveled a lot. So we're in California after a long trip. We were Italian, so we started our journey definitely in Italy, where we have our roots. And then after years there, we traveled to China, living the Asia environment for about 3 years. It was an amazing experience, way beyond our imagination and expectation. And then this fantastic company where I work with, they offered me the possibility to go and live the American dream. So I flew over to Atlanta in Georgia, on the east coast, on the east coast of US. And I've been there for 3 years, and that is where actually I met my fantastic and loved friends, Brigitta. And then from there, after 3 years, we moved to California, where we just came here a little bit less than 1 year ago. So here we are. This is our journey around the world with my family.
Like literally.
Yeah.
And you know, you guys are young, and you're a young family. You have how many kids?
We have 3 kids.
3 kids.
Yes, we have 3 kids.
And
Thank you
those
for telling me that you're young, by the way.
look, we are what we believe, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Or we are what we feel. Well, anyway, so you have 3 kids, and your oldest was born in Italy.
Yeah. Yeah, Leonardo is in Italy. Yeah.
Leonardo was born in Italy, and he started growing up in China with
Yes.
you as you were in China, and he picked up some, you know, and I know Leo in real life, and I saw him of how just open-minded he is with different foods and with different thoughts, and it just really shaped him. And I want to talk about that, Luca. Tell us more about those rituals, those habits that you have picked up, not just from your own culture, from Italy, but also from the other cultures that you have started to call home.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, and that's a great definition. So everywhere we have been, we try to be home, right? So the main, I would not say secret, but our great opportunity was to travel, and everywhere we went, we were feeling home. So you can really move wherever you want. The home where you are, it's your family. So regardless where you are in that moment, what we're trying to inspire our kids, in this case Leo, was really to live the life in full. So regardless where is your family or your friends, or if you are in China, wherever you are, you have opportunities to experience the life. And honestly, more than us, Brigitta, telling them what to do, is then they're inspiring us. So we lost as adults one day, sometimes a long time ago, the pleasure and the happiness to be kids, right? So we need to learn from them, not us them teaching them something. So we just have to. This is the way we try to approach our kids. Really reflecting their energy, staying with them, and living the way they live life. And honestly, we cannot do it because they are full of energy. So once they are at the half of the day, we are tired and dead, and they are still going. So this is really the lesson we are teaching our kids. It's really live your life in full. Don't lose time on complain or anything, because there is so much bad information and bad things out there that we are so lucky. So just live it.
And I so appreciate what you just said. If we can just sometimes plug into that inner child that still lives within us. I know it lives within me, and sometimes she just wants to come out and play,
Yeah.
right? Where I have to where you know, adult Brigida says, nope, it's not that time. And the little one inside of me says, but I want to come out and I want to play. And there is an ease, there is energy, there is beauty in being looking for the little nuances in life, not the big ones.
Yeah.
but the little pleasures. And I love what you just said. And if we can all just plug in and tap into that inner child that's living within all of us, just once in a while, and let it come out. Because quite honestly, guys, and Luke, I'm pretty sure you know that growing up, it's a scam. Don't do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
It's a total scam.
Don't do it. We try to tell them, don't grow up, guys. Stay always with us. But we know it's not gonna be. It's not gonna happen.
No, and eventually you do want them to move out.
Yeah,
Trust me.
yeah. This is. I mean, you say a great thing. So this inner child, honestly, my philosophy on even in the work environment, right? So the people are always child. It's which kind of our child side comes out, because
Ah,
often it comes out fear. It comes out. I don't know, everything that as a child we lived. Some when we are adult, we are just child that we inflate the bad or the good of being child. So it's just balancing out more to take out the good part, to be faithful, to be energized, to be hopeful, to be joyful, instead of just taking out the bad humor, the bad sensation. So really, often it's about fear. Because when
mm.
you're kids, you fear a lot of other things, and then when you're big, you just take those fears and you bring them on and on and on, and you forget how to be the good side of your childhood.
Wow, that those are some real truth nuggets and some real profound wisdom that you're dropping here, Luca. And I wonder, were you born that way? Were you all were you did you grow up with that kind of mindset where you would say, "Oh, the glass is half full," and "Oh, I want to plug into the child that supports me, that inner child that supports me, not the inner child that's throwing a tantrum."
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean, this is the $1 million question, right, Brigitte? So I don't know if we have 3 hours and a half to just answer that. No, it's. I think we are a combination of a lot of things, and our life is the result of being lucky and being good. So I have a very good life. I cannot complain. I'm not the kind of person that can regret with the parents or with their childhood on a bad life. I grew up in Italy, a beautiful country. My parents are a beautiful person. I love them. I had great grandparents that all of them inspired me in a different way, how to live the life in full, how to be faithful with God and with ourselves, how to believe in ourselves, in the others. And honestly, often just showing themselves for who they are, not hiding themselves. So I always lived their way of being. So that taught me how sometimes I want to follow that direction, and how sometimes I don't want to follow it. So I was consciousness of the both sides, and this is what my family gave me, and I'm still thankful for everything they live with them and for everything they do to me every single day. And then on the other side, you need to have the right person close to you. That's the other big piece of the cake. So you need to have the friend that helps you when you need it. You need to be full of God and full of some soul within you that helps you in the tough moment. And sometimes you meet the wrong person, and that screw up potentially whatever was good up to that moment. And then sometimes you find other opportunities. So you find the love of your life, or you find the work of your life. So it's really a combination. It's hard to say why I am who I am. What I can say is that I'm thankful to whatever I live, to my parents, to the love of my life, that it's Manuela, and that she's the cousin of my best friend. And I'm so thankful for all of this connection I have with you and with your family. And it's really living every single moment with success. That is what I define by success. It's just
Yeah.
living your life, not giving away or giving up everything, anything, because there is gonna be one March 22nd for in the entire history for the 2022. This is the only day is gonna happen for the entire life of the human being. There is not gonna be any repetition of this day. So
Wise words.
if you waste it, it's gone completely. It's gone.
Time is our most precious
Yes.
commodity that we have.
Yes.
And a lot of us just kind of yeah, and then I have the next moment and the next moment. No, that's not how I believe it is, and I know that you don't believe that either. And you said so many wonderful things, and focusing on Manu, the love of your life, and focusing on your family. And we know that I know personally that family comes first, and that's a success pattern all in itself. Because so many people that are striving and to be successful put their family on the back burner just to run for something that might not be, when they get to it, something that they truly want, right?
Yeah.
And they neglect their family. And for you, family comes first, and for us, family comes first. And there's a positive thinking kind of aspect in that. But what is positive thinking? How do you define positive thinking?
So I'm the damn optimism. If you talk to my sister-in-law, she's gonna say, "Luca, you are a damn optimist. Every time you try to be a positive thinker." So so life is complex for everyone, and every one of us has a lot of issues and problems, right? So the positive part of life, it's just taking everything that happens to you in a best way that can be profitable for you. So the positive thinking is not just saying everything is going to be good, everything is going to be great, but is be conscious of what's happening on you or around you or inside you, and just taking advantage of it. So how can I use this situation, this moment, to become a better person, to help other people? What am I learning? Because, and that happens also to me, as so many times you experience something really bad, and then after a while you go back to your previous life, right? So, or when you do an LNP course or any motivational course, you do fantastic, it seems that you're going to conquer the world. Then you go out of the course finished, the ends goes off, and then the day after you go back to be the normal person you were. So the positive thinking is just reminding yourself that there is something more that you can experience. It's and trying to, as you say, strive and conquer it day after day with a lot of pain, because it's being positive is not easy. That's the problem, Brigitte. Being positive is nothing that you're always positive, but it doesn't come for free. It's a fire that I have to engage every day. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be positive, because the fire, if you don't feel it, it's gonna die. The fire.
So you're saying the fire within you, the positive thinking, is intrinsic. It doesn't happen necessarily from a motivational speaker or someone that, Manu giving you a pep talk every morning going, "You can do it, Luca, you can do it." Right? It's something within you that you have either owned your entire life, or you have owned it, applied it at some point intentionally, and you constantly work on it. And just because you're a positive thinker, Luca, does that mean that you never have challenges in your life, that you never have losses, that you never have pain in your life?
No, definitely not. And so, first of all, as you said, being positive is just the result of habits. So, just reminding yourself and conquering that little piece every day, and then you're arriving to have problems with your life. We had big losses with my wife, with my family. We lost a baby, and how can we say that was a good moment? How can you say that you are positive in that moment, right? And so many other people in this moment are experiencing so many terrible things, and every one of us had very bad moments. And I had bad moments at work. So I was failing, I was behaving not properly. So I think that being positive is just recognizing and acknowledging the fact that we are human, so we can do mistakes, and the human being is by nature not perfect. So we need to recognize the fact that we are different and leverage on the difference, and just get inspired. Okay, so what this situation can tell me, what did I learn from my mistakes, why I was mistaken, and then you start to understand that you are successful because you are not doing the best. You are not, as you say, earning a lot of money. You're not conquering that position in that company, but you're just happy on what you do. You are happy that when you wake up, you know that you can give something to someone else or to yourself, and something in some way goes back to you. That is the definition for me of success, and it comes through pain, because the the altalena, how to say in English.
Pendulum.
Yes, exactly. It's a pendulum, right? So you cannot go right if you don't go left. So you
Right.
cannot be happy if you don't feel pain. You cannot be successful if you don't feel failure. There is no way. The only way is to not feel failure. It's not being successful. So slowly you're gonna stop and be stagnant, right? So not moving. So the real secret is just moving as stronger as you can to experience everything. As I'm saying, usually when I was in my beginning of my career, I was working in NLP and motivational courses and companies with the sub-affiliate of Anthony Robbins. And there was a great definition: is if you don't fly high, you're never gonna see the view in front of you. You're never gonna see what the world is, right? So fly high, and then eventually, yes, you can collapse and you can get hurt really a lot, but you're gonna say wow. While if you don't fly high, you're never gonna say wow. So I wanna say wow in my life.
Yeah, I say wow right now because you're flying high, and VP of supply chains in your work. I would assume, and we haven't talked about this at all, but I would assume that your work right now is very challenging, because we know, or at least we have a glimpse into how backed up the supply chain really is.
Yeah.
So it makes your job on a day-to-day basis very challenging.
Yeah. And I have to be thankful for this situation, because nobody knew what the supply chain was as a job until 1 year
Now
ago.
everyone knows.
Now that the inflation and every talk about supply chain, we became the most important person of the company, right? Or the most blamed one. So either one.
Oh, let's call Luca because it's backed
Yeah.
up.
So we have a problem. The light goes off. Okay, let's call supply chain team. They can help us.
So,
I mean, no, supply chain. My job. I'm so happy where I am. I'm working on in a fantastic company that it's not just a big piece of the market in terms of the eyewear, but it's really leading the edge of the innovation, and gives not just to the employees but to everyone really a lot of opportunities to see the life in a better way, right? And it doesn't want to sound like an advertisement, but I'm just really happy to have this company around me that gives me so many opportunities. And being a VP of supply chain just means trying to connect different needs and overcome obstacles. So the supply chain in this moment is backed up everywhere, especially here in California and Los Angeles. The port, it's stuck, and there are so many complexities. So the complex part is to make sure that everyone around you, so your suppliers, the production, the manufacturing, the development, the product team, everyone has his own needs. It's like when you meet friends, right? So everyone has his own targets and needs, and everyone pushes in his own direction. The real goal of the supply chain is to try to accommodate and leverage the best of each department in order to get the best service and cost for your customers. So it's a hard work, because you don't just fill a number in a table, or you just don't apply a formula. Most of the time it's really going above and beyond, and this is what we are struggling in this case, not in this company but generally around the world. Everyone looking, and this is in his era, everyone trying to look at what's happening in Europe or in other places. So that's purely supply chain. I'm just looking at my personal interest. So in that case, you just create conflict. So the supply chain is really destroying the barriers and trying to create that partnership that create connection and create the win-win. That is the supply chain. I win, you win. Because if I'm gonna start to let you lose because I wanna win, this win is not gonna be a long-term play. It's gonna be a short-term play.
well, and when you win, when you lock arms and create those partnerships, so both parties win, and actually we win. We as the potential customer win,
Sure.
because now we have very interesting eyewear and very how should I say, very fast forward things that we can do with our eyewear, and it's so it's not just a win-win. It's actually a win-win-win, and it's one of my laws that I teach to create those win-win-wins, right? Because most people, when they first think success, they're like, oh yeah, it's a win, right? It's got to be a win for me. Well, that's ego.
Yeah.
That's pretty shallow thinking in my definition. A win-win is great. A win for you, a win for me, you know, it's sweet. But a win-win-win is the beauty that we're creating, and it's not just us benefiting from it, but there's a greater benefit from that.
Yeah. And I give you this example, right? So the third win is the biggest one. So sometimes we think it's okay, you do a nice glass and the company earns a lot of money. It's not really that thing. So think about the healthcare, think about the research and the development, the genome sequencing, and all of these big businesses that needs money to innovate. So the win-win is between the supply chain and the other functions. If you create efficiency, that cost reduction or that opportunity to be faster and closer to the market gives the company the possibility to innovate. With the cost reduction, you innovate a cheaper cost, so you get a better production. And the better production means better healthcare. I'm really thinking where the medicine is today, or the healthcare. It's way beyond our imagination, and we know that we have so much to learn or to develop. So today, for example, talking about the eyewear, you wear an eyewear that you have features and opportunity that 50 years ago were not there. And maybe in the future we are still not even thinking what is going to be our I don't know. And from the eyewear, from clothing, from every part of the industry, it's such a huge opportunity to really look to be, as you say, positive thinker. The innovation would not be there if there are not really positive thinkers there.
Yeah, if we look at Ford and Edison that have not listened to everyone around them, say, what are you doing? You know, are you really going to do that?
Yeah.
Yes, and because of them, because they're trailblazers, we are where we are today. I mean, let's just think really simple. Zoom before the pandemic, you know, it was a nice platform.
Mm-mm.
I don't even think Zoom knew what they were getting into as we were going into lockdown. And thank God that they were there and that voice over IP was there, that we could not just communicate with our family across borders, across the ocean, but that we could actually continue our work.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a great example. How
Yeah.
the war changed, destroying the barriers, and not just Zoom, extended to the internet, right? The Internet of Things, and Facebook or WhatsApp, all of them. I mean, I talk to my family every day now. Maybe they're watching at me, and we feel there. So, I mean, everything is connected. Or think about again the COVID. There are companies that based their connection. So you are my doctor and I'm your patient. So you're visiting me now in another complete part of the world because there is COVID, because a lot of people. So that has been an innovation coming from, in that case, it's a supply chain constraint, right? So we cannot move. That was a supply chain constraint. We cannot move. So how do we become a better human being? So it's so sad that we forgot so quickly that lesson, and we are already thinking about other bad and old things like the war now, while we should still leverage on what we learned from COVID to really become a better human being, creating connection and destroying barriers. So that's sad. But anyway, we're not here to be sad. So,
No, we're here to be empowered. I'm empowered by what you said. I'm empowered by your forward thinking. I'm empowered by you looking at, even through the times of challenges and losses, looking at what is one thing that I can focus on? What is one life that I can empower? What is one difference that I can make? And that will lead me ultimately to me feeling better, to them feeling better, to making a bigger difference, and creating those win-wins. So, Luca, I thank you so much for taking time to come out to be with us
Thank
today.
you.
I send you lots of love over to California here from Atlanta. You're
Thank you.
our family. You're our
You too,
Italian
guys.
family. We love you. Hug those babies for us. Hug Manu for us.
Sure.
And I will say, I'm going to see you very soon in California.
Yes.
That's a promise, not a threat.
Absolutely. Indeed. Okay.
And for the listeners that are staying on, thank you for being here. We have a success patterns checklist for you, and I'm going to put it here in the comments. All you got to do is send us a quick email that to brigitte@hoefelet.com, the way that you write that out. I put it in the comments here. And you also see my first name at mylastname.com. So that's where you would send an email and just put in the subject line success patterns checklist, and we'll send you the success patterns checklist. That is my gift from me to you. Luca, again, thank you for being here. Guys, check in again next week, same time, same place, Success Pattern Show. Make it a great evening. Make it a great rest of the week. Not because I said so, because you said so. Ciao.
Ciao. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to the Success Pattern Show at www.thesuccesspatternshow.com. My name is Brigitte Hoefelet.